on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Follow the leader.
Oh my God.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
Sugar free with DJ Quinn. Telling y'all if you stay ready, you don't gotta get ready. In the real way.
Let's go. Come on.
If I could get $1 every time you look at me sideways, I pay the West Side on Fridays to be y'all play haters y'all on highways. Don't trip on me, partner. No, I'm having visions of Bloody Mary with A's trying to give me some nana. You can't dictate mine. What I look like to you, baby, besides the feeling is fine. All natural like oak brand, engineered like no other. Fly for life, still as a mannequin when it comes to my mother. Capricorn, baby, and I'm stubborn just like you. So why don't you do me a favor and tell that lie to that fool? Don't get me twisted, baby. I love you too, but when that rent and that car don't come, what love don't do? Baby, my money's on the clock, right around the block. You see me stay big now, my music's all I got. So I'ma stay ready, so I gotta get ready. Cause I rose like King Tut and resurrected like I'm a deity.
Stay ready.
Don't ask nobody, ask me, baby.
You ain't got to get ready.
Same thing, go around, go come right back around.
You stay ready.
I'm not sure, can you feel me?
You ain't got to get ready.
Cause I can feel
You were
Sugar
checking out
free.
the
You got
Danny
some
Morrison Show,
money?
West Coast Danny Mo Show, Thursday night, KBLA Talk 1580. Having some bomb conversations online right now, I got to tell you. And everybody's wondering who Bernice Burgos is now. Listen, do yourselves a favor, okay? She's a beautiful young lady that many of us are a fan of. She's a beautiful young lady. Bernice Burgos. And yeah, let's just say that the fellas be drooling all over that queen every single day on Instagram. But the problem is, I think we men of all races, by the way, not just black men, we look at women like that, and then we make those comparisons with the women in our lives. And go, why you ain't got no small waist like Bernice? Why you ain't doing this? She going to the gym every day. You sitting up, eating food all day. What's the deal? And it's an unfair comparison. It is. And everything ain't as it seems on social media, too, by the way. A lot of them pictures are doctored up, and a lot of surgery's been had, too. And so all of these unattainable goals that these women put against themselves, they shouldn't, because these pictures and these videos are not real. They don't even own the houses that they're standing in front of. They don't even own the cars that they're driving around. It's just all a facade, and so many people buy into it, Andy, and I don't know why.
And she admitted to a lot of surgery done to her body.
Yeah. She looks amazing. But I love anybody, male or female, that comes clean and go, I had a little bit of work done now, man. Come on. This ain't natural. I went in, did a little something here, did a little something there, a couple cats that were at the gym, you could get pec implants, you know that, right? You get pec implants because, some guys just can't grow. And I go, I couldn't do it, but you look fantastic. You really do. Or you take another shortcut of the chemical type. I think every black man that goes to the gym all the time gets offered something at some point. And I've been offered a couple times, and of course I shut it down. I ain't gonna have that. Because steroids will, not only will it kill you, at the age of 40, but it'll make you hung like a light switch. But we ain't gonna get into that.
Did you ever use creatine growing up?
Yeah, I was using creatine last year, as a matter of fact. And I got so big, man. I was huge, and it's water weight. It's not even real. But I looked, I don't like the way I looked. I like slim, fit, trim muscle. I'm a tight 210 right now. I like where I'm at. But when I was on creatine, I was really over 220 easily, man. That was
Wheel of Fortune?
So why
creatine?
I wasn't working out during Wheel of Fortune, man.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I was just normal, Not that I'm abnormal now. Why you got to bring up Wheel of Fortune again?
Because it's classic material.
For those that haven't seen it, I ain't got no problem breaking it down again. Go on YouTube, type in Danny Morrison, Wheel of Fortune. You'll see me back in 2001, and you will go, there's no way that's Danny. It's me. And I dominated that thing. Andy, did I dominate, though?
You dominated. You did your thing.
Thank you very much. One of them cats, that cat was like a Harvard law student, and the other lady was a housewife, right? And they were just looking at me like, oh, we're going to take him out. This black dude from Bakersfield, you ain't ready for me.
I like to buy a vowel. Oh. I was like, okay, Daddy Mo. You better kill it. You ever go spinning and clapping up? And
put a little emphasis. And then my family was giving me love. They said, even when you didn't have the wheel, you were like, come on, let's go.
You was like, come on, let's go.
That's me.
Come on.
That's me.
Come on, okay, Daddy Mo.
I knew I was going to whoop him, so I was like, I'm going to give him a love right now before I kick him out of here. Congratulations. Oh, bankrupt? Oh, I'm so sorry. Sorry.
Was there anything behind the scenes that were kind of edited or contrived?
Well, yeah, first of all, there's probably 100 people in the audience, but when you watch it on TV, they make it seem like there's 1,000 people out there. There's 100 people. And I'm going to tell you something that I don't know if I've ever admitted on the air. It's probably the first time in my life where I was nervous. I don't get nervous. I've been in front of big crowds. I've hosted concerts, you know what I'm saying? I do motivational speaking. I've been in prison, schools. I don't get nervous. That day, man, I walked up in there, and then the producer sits you down, and they go, we broadcast to 50 million people around the world. They're giving you all these figures and everything. And I'm just like, trickle, 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 trickle. I trickle, trickle, trickle. And they sit you in the audience. They take 5 shows on one day. And there's 3 people per show, obviously. So all 15 are in the audience. And then they randomly select who's going to be on each team. And I was like the 3rd show. I'm telling you, I peed. I had to run to the bathroom and pee probably 5-6 times before I got on.
Don't they, like, the producers, they kind of they interview each audience member to kind of pick and choose who they're going to bring on?
I'll tell you the story before we up against it here. Real quick, since you asked. So my mom was, I don't know if she still is, the biggest Wheel of Fortune fan on earth. Every night, 7 p.m., man, she was in front of the TV watching that. So I moved out, I had my life and everything, I had my lady and everything, had a son, I was a father, but every now and again, I just, go check on your mom, make sure she needs everything. So she'd be watching TV when I get there, sometimes be watching Wheel of Fortune. So, she'd be watching, I pull up behind her in her bedroom, and I would stand in the doorway and watch it. And there'd be 2 letters that have been solved on the board, right? And I would just walk in and go, Mary had a little lamb. And I walk off, and she's like, Daddy, you better go on that show, boy! And I would just do that so often, Little Red Riding Hood. And she would just trip off me. She said, you need to go on that show. I'm like, okay. So I don't know who, okay? To this day, I don't know who. Somebody sent my name in to, was it Universal City down here? Or Burbank? I don't know where it is down here. Somebody sent it to Sony Pictures Studios. So I get a postcard in the mail saying you were invited to audition on Wheel of Fortune. I'm like, who in the heck? So I call my mama, I'm calling my sisters. I'm like, who sent this? I got to my job. Nobody fessed it. To this day, I don't know who sent it in. So I told my boss when I went to work that next Monday, I said, I got an audition in a couple weeks. I need the day off. And he said, you better go down there and kick their butt. We know you're going to kill that show. I go, okay. So I come down here early. I had on you see my suit on there? My Armani suit, by the way, which wasn't mine. Different conversation. And I go down. I didn't have the suit on when I went to my audition. I just had on regular clothes. So you go down there, and there's 100 people in there, and they put us all in this room. There's this auditorium room, and we're just all sitting there, and they sit us side by side. There's a huge wheel in the front, and they have it up vertically, right? And so 2 people, the 2 producers are up front, and they spin the wheel. Boom. They want you to go through the game, and they go person to person to person. I'm like in the 6th row. And he spins it, and they ask a person, and we're basically doing the game person by person, right? They get to me. Every time they got to me, I'd solve it. And they went through it 3-4 times. Every single time, boom, I'd solve it. And people they were like, wow, who's this Negro? So, at the end of the whole thing, they say, we're going to keep 10 people of the 100. If you are one of the 10 that stays, you will be on the show eventually. The other 90, you can reapply in another year, and hopefully you'll get on the show then. So I was just sitting there. I ain't gonna front. I was like, there's no way I'm not chosen to be on the show. The first name out of Danny Morrison of Bakersfield, California. I was like, I'm just saying, I sprouted a couple more hairs on my chest. Bing, bing. And you know what I'm saying? I was like, I know you gonna call your boy, you know what I'm saying? So they take us in the corner, they interview us, talk Told them I was a radio personality and telling them my business and everything. And they were like, oh, first of all, you're black. First of all, you're an hour and a half away from here.
Hold on, you said you're black.
No, I think that's what they were thinking. It never said that. You're black, you're nearby, you have a great personality, you're goofy. You know what I'm saying? You check off every single box. And they were like, we will let you know, you should have, it wasn't voicemail back then, it was on your answering machine. You should have a message on your answering machine within the next 48 hours on what your taping date is. So, sure enough, next morning, I wake up. Hi, this is Carl from Sony Picture Studios, looking for Danny Morrison. You're going to be on Wheel of Fortune. Da, 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 da. So, I went down there, and as you saw, I missed the first puzzle because I was so nervous. If you guys get a chance to watch it.
I was just about to say, I didn't sense no goofiness from you. You was like
I was
serious.
So nervous, man. I can't front, man. I tell this story to young people all the time to let them know. You got to fight through that stuff because I didn't know that I could get nervous until that show. real talk. Because I went in with confidence. I told you how I dominate that show in front of my mom and my family all the time. I was like, look, if I get on, if the wheel is on my side, I'm going to dominate that show. I'm not worried about me guessing puzzles and all that. But if I get bankrupts and lose a turn and, they got all that nonsense, I can't control that. If the wheel is on my side, ain't no way I lose. And that's what happened. But trickle, trickle. Trickle, trickle. That's all I'm saying. So if y'all want to check it out, YouTube, Danny Morrison, Wheel of Fortune, go ahead and check it out and get your laugh on because I don't think it looks like me at all, okay? So tonight is another special edition, Thursday night edition of the Danny Mo Show, and I've brought in a number of compelling pieces of content that will either strengthen or weaken my perspectives on West Coast hip-hop. And I want you all, my beautiful listening audience, to feel free to chime in on the madness via the phone lines or the YouTube feed or my DMs, or you can send me an email, dannymoshow@gmail.com, whichever way you want to get to me, and we will have an overarching discussion about West Coast hip-hop today, okay? When we come forward, I will give you my first clip, and it is one that I've talked about a couple times on this show. Is it edited, by the way, Andy? Okay. Glasses Malone was on The Breakfast Club touting how Snoop Dogg is hip-hop. I want y'all to hear exactly what he says. I'll give you a stop and go on the Danny Mo Show on the other side. 1-800-920-1580. Danny Morrison Show, Thursday night, KBLA Talk 1580. We got a lot to talk about. Stay there.
From Bakersfield to Los Angeles.
From middays to nighttime.
Like George and Weezy, Danny Morrison is moving on up at KBLA Talk 1580.
The pandemic may be over, but many Angelinos could be at risk of losing the place they call home. It's important to know your rights as a residential renter in the city of LA. Did you know eviction protection still exists for unpaid COVID-19 rental debt that was due before March 31st, 2023? And that you have 5 days to respond to an eviction notice, also known as an unlawful detainer. Learn more about your rental rights at housing.lacity.org. Be informed, be protected, be at home.
Mom's early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take.
And when I left the oven on, we decided together that it was time to see a doctor and make a plan.
Early detection gave us more time to seek out information and support as a family.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. For more information, visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Mornings were made for better things than rheumatoid arthritis or RA. Xeljanz tofacitinib is a pill for adults with moderate to severe RA when tumor necrosis factor blockers did not work well or could not be tolerated. Xeljanz can help relieve joint pain, swelling, and help stop further joint damage. Xeljanz can lower your ability to fight infections. Don't start if you have one. Before and during treatment, your doctor should check for infections like TB and do blood tests. Serious, sometimes fatal infections, cancers including lymphoma and lung, blood clots, serious heart-related events, tears in the stomach or intestines, and allergic reactions have happened. People 50 and older with heart disease risk factors have an increased risk of death. Tell your doctor if you've had hepatitis B or C, have flu-like symptoms, are prone to infections, or have ever had a heart attack, stroke, clot, or other heart problems, or swelling of lips, tongue, throat, or hives. Ask your doctor about prescription Xeljanz. Visit Xeljanz.com or call 1-844-XELJANZ.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
The rent is too damn high. KBLA joins you in calling for affordable housing. The LA Tenants Union is a diverse, tenant-led movement fighting for the human right to housing for all. The LA Tenants Union demands safe, affordable housing and union rent control. They organize against landlord harassment, mass evictions, and displacement, and mobilize for the repeal of the Ellis Act and Costa-Hawkins Act. The LA Tenants Union is on a mission to strengthen tenants' political power through education, advocacy, and direct action. To get help with your eviction or other landlord-tenant issues, take action for justice, or become a member, visit latenantsunion.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, we're Tasha,
Kill,
and Euro from KBLA's Lyric Lounge.
Check us out every Saturday from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. and every Sunday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Tune in as we break down some of your favorite song lyrics from all genres of music.
From gospel to pop and hip-hop to rock and everything else in between, we cover it all.
So come hang out in the Lyric Lounge with Tasha,
Teal,
and Euro every Saturday afternoon at 4 p.m. and every Sunday at 6 p.m.
Let the music play.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. Real talk, real time, the gospel truth. You're listening to the Danny Morrison Show on KBLA Talk 1580.
Now Mimi is going after me saying I don't check my DMs. Look, I was a little bit busy today, you know. Let me run through it real fast. Mimi, you've sent me like 15 DMs today. I can't read all. I love Yorkies. She loves Yorkies. She loves the dog, the Yorkie, I guess. And she said, I remember calling into the show saying I liked Gavin Newsom, but I'm still cautious of him. Perhaps you'll share this information on your show if you haven't already. Mimi from Florida says, California Governor Newsom declines to back reparations checks since slavery's legacy is more than cash payments. Yeah, we talked about that a month ago. Come on, Mimi, you an avid listener to the Danny Mo Show, I thought, right? All right, let's get into it. This first clip is one that I mentioned on the show last night about Glasses Malone's appearance on The Breakfast Club, but I had forgotten how far Glasses Malone took his love for Snoop Dogg. He believes Snoop Dogg was even bigger than Tupac Shakur, and it's time for another Danny Mo Show stop and go. Listen.
Now, the only reason people think it's hate is when, and I didn't see this interview, but they say you was with Jumper.
Yeah.
And you said Snoop Dogg is responsible for the way the public views Tupac, and Tupac wasn't ever close to Snoop's status. Why would you say such a lie like that, G? G.
Okay, so we gonna lie. So we gonna lie in this room.
No, we ain't gonna lie. Let's have a discussion.
So let's be honest.
Okay.
Who was the in the rap game? Let's not ever do. Let's stop. Let's just stop. Period. All the way from 1993 when album came out to 1995, it was no bigger rapper than Snoop Dogg.
It was Pac. It was Snoop.
No.
Snoop came out first.
That's not true. It wasn't Pac at that point. Pac wasn't there yet. He wasn't there. He wasn't. Because Tupacalypse Now was out, right? Is that the one? Dear Mama's on Tupacalypse Now, right? That song wasn't as big as All Eyes on Me, right? Because that's a double album. It was huge. California Love was on that album. The Tupacalypse Now album, I think, went to #1 on Billboard. But that is the height of Snoop Dogg's powers at that point. Is that not true? When did All Eyes on Me come out?
96.
96, okay? So that right there is easily his best-selling album of all time. Tupacalypse Now was a hit. I'm saying that came out when Snoop was at the peak of his powers, though.
No.
Yeah. When did Tupacalypse Now come out?
I want to say 91.
And when did Snoop Dogg come out?
93.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's in the same area. I'm telling you, man. I think that's the case that Charlemagne's trying to make.
Yeah, but I think chronologically, G Malone is basically saying that Tupacalypse Now came before, so Pac was out already as an artist.
But during that time, was he the biggest hip hop artist on earth?
Tupac?
No. That's the point I'm making.
That was MC Hammer.
That's true. All right, go.
Hold up. No, Snoop didn't come out. Pac came out first.
Well, yeah, but that.
Don't try to.
You're right.
It was a different
Tupacalypse Now and all that, but he didn't blow. But then Snoop came out superstar.
No. Snoop was rap. Big came out trying to sell records like Snoop.
That's a fact.
That's a bar.
That's a fact.
It's Snoop. Snoop is rap music. Snoop is the greatest rapper of all time. Not if he the best, not if this, he's the greatest. Like, Snoop could go to any mall in America and they gonna know him. A white lady 80 or a little kid 8 gonna know Snoop Dogg.
But we talking about
I've said that 1,000 times on this show, have I not? I said, if you don't think he's the greatest rapper of all time, and if you don't think he's the best rapper of all time, here's one thing that I can guarantee you. He's the most recognizable rapper on earth. And whatever credence you want to give that, I'm just saying, Snoop can't go nowhere in the world without somebody. And not to mention, he's like 6'4", which he stands out in that way too. He's just a man of large stature, but at the same time, he's just a recognizable force everywhere he goes.
I mean, Snoop Dogg was at WrestleMania both nights.
You know what I'm saying?
We're talking about the wrestling industry. Snoop Dogg was there. He had a show with Martha Stewart.
And it is crazy. He's right. An 80-year-old sitting right here and an 8-year-old sitting right next to him. If Snoop walked in there, both of them would know exactly who walked up in here. Eminem, you couldn't say that. I think the lady be like, oh, I don't. The 8-year-old, maybe. Maybe not. Kendrick, no. Jay-Z with that hair, maybe. I don't know. But what other rapper is that recognizable than Snoop Dogg?
100%. I mean, just was it the long hair?
Yeah.
Especially the weed smoking. I mean, let's be honest with you. I felt like he definitely put that on the map. So
no doubt.
When you talk about the weed culture, he definitely got those people.
Ooh, gotta agree. I go.
Time. In that period when Pac came out of jail.
You mean when he got next to Snoop Dogg?
When he signed to Death Row, he became huge.
That's what I'm saying.
Because of Snoop Dogg is Death Row.
But he was doing movies. Like, Pac was like...
Even with all that, was he as big as Snoop?
Yes.
No.
At that time, yes.
No, not in 93, not in 94.
Hey, come on. He had Madonna coming to visit him.
How many movies did Pac have prior to going to Death Row? We know he had Juice.
Above the Rim.
Was that prior to Death Row?
Above the Rim was 94.
Okay, so that... what's that cop movie that he did? That buddy cop movie that he did?
Gridlock. That was after.
That was after
Death Row.
So are those the only two movies that he made prior to Death Row?
And I want to say Poetic Justice.
Well, considering we just said that he died 10 months after getting out of prison, going to Death Row, I'm going to assume that most of the movies that he made had to have been prior to Death Row.
Mm-hmm. No, Gridlocked, and I want to say it's another cop-like movie. I can't think of the name. Those are movies that came obviously after he passed.
Yeah.
But he did the movie beforehand.
Yeah. But those movies didn't vault him into becoming the greatest rapper of all time.
Not at all. Not at all.
Matter of fact, I think people recognized him more for his acting than they did his rapping at that point. You trying to tell me that ain't the case? You trying to tell me that ain't the case? Huh?
I don't know. When I remember watching those movies and I was like, oh, that's Tupac the rapper.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Fahima said, Danny, the same song came out in 1991. Yeah, Digital Underground. Ooh, and the bars on that song, it's just a little snippet of the song that Pac is on same song with Digital, and he just, now I clown around when I'm hanging down with the underground. Girl, I used to clown when I come around, blast me, and they used to last me when they kiss me, harass me. But, woo!
He did rip that.
That little old portion of that song, Pac tears that track up, man.
Absolutely.
Christopher Anderson said, hey, Danny, one thing about the West Coast debate, got to understand that Kendrick Lamar currently holds the crown. Yeah, I think we all agree with that. Terry Tari said, Tupac was also a good actor. Pac got great movie reviews from the LA Times, New York Times, LA Weekly, Rolling Stones, etc. Yeah, we knew how gifted he was when Juice came out. We said, ooh, listen, he's nice on the mic. And that was only when Brenda Got a Baby was out and Keep Your Head Up. He was on that socially conscious kick. But when he got in that film, we were like, what?
But what about Raheem?
What, you know what I'm saying? I think I had the same reaction to Ice Cube when he was in Boys in the Hood. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you.
I didn't think Cube could do it that well as he did it in Boys. I said, man, that Cube was acting.
He kind of was. Was that really acting?
That's what people said. They said, well, wasn't he just being Cube?
I'm just...
Okay, maybe. I don't know. I go.
I'm in jail.
Pac was prolific, so people like Nip, where people, like certain people, right, their impact is way deeper than their quality versus the quantity. But if we talking about raw quantity of just like popping and somebody, I feel like Snoop gets so disrespected in the game.
No, he's a superstar.
No, it's past a superstar. He is rap.
Now.
No,
stop. I can't go that far. You can't say he is rap. I don't know about that. I think that you can make the case that he's the king of the West Coast, like Andy likes to say on occasion. But to say that he is rap, I don't know. But they do disrespect Snoop. Because as you guys know, Billboard and Vibe put out that top 50 rappers of all time. And Snoop, surprisingly, was number 9. I have that right, Andy? I think Snoop was number 9. Because Nicki was 10. I think Snoop was right above her at number 9. Right?
Hey, man, you memorizing the list, man. He was number 9.
I'm finally getting there. It only took me 2 months. But, and you should see the comments on Black Twitter about Snoop being ranked that high. And people just diss him when it comes to his lyrics. I don't think people know. Snoop don't write anything down. He does the same thing Jay-Z does. When he goes in the booth, he freestyles half of his rhymes on the mic. So I don't know if that impacts that, but you cannot deny the impact that Snoop Dogg has had on the industry. Not the rap industry, the industry. Snoop is a monster. And if you want to sell to me that if, my Mount Rushmore is Dr. Dre in the lead position, Ice Cube right next to him, Snoop Dogg right next to him, and number 4, we can debate. I said DJ Quick, and then you brought up Kendrick, and I'm like, what am I doing? Got to put Kendrick there. If you told me, no, I want Snoop at the number 1 slot, I'd say, you can make that case.
I agree, 100%.
You can make that case.
Especially after I watched the verses between him and DMX.
He murked.
And you got to understand, like, DMX is in my top 5.
Yeah.
I was a huge DMX Rough Riders fan, obviously a huge Snoop Dogg fan.
Yeah.
And I thought, prior to the verses that, it was going to be pretty challenging.
Yeah.
And
DMX ain't got hits like that.
Oh, man. DMX does.
No, he don't. He got a few solo. How many hits does DMX have that aren't posse cuts?
Rough Riders Anthem, Party Up, Slippin', What They Want with Cisco.
Okay.
Those are 4 records off the top of my head. X gon' give it to you.
Okay. He got a few. Look, It's Dark and Hell is Hot is.
Stop being greedy.
Crazy. But Snoop Dogg.
Yeah. I was just like, I'm sorry. Snoop Dogg had DMX rapping to Snoop's records, dancing to his records.
Oh.
I was just like, am I watching the greatest hip-hop artist of all time?
I'm gonna say
That's how I felt.
I'm going to say something blasphemous to you right now. You might think I'm crazy. I think Snoop could stand on stage with Jay-Z. Tell me I'm crazy.
You're not crazy.
That's all I'm saying.
And I rock with Jay heavy.
Yeah. You telling me that Snoop ain't got hits like that too? Across multiple decades?
Hey. Shout out to Cameron. Cameron had a song where he dissed Jay-Z.
Mm-hmm.
And it's called I'm Not a Biter, I'm not a writer, I'm a biter.
Yeah.
Where Cameron chronologically goes over all of the lyrics that Jay-Z done took.
I don't know if he's taking them. I think he's paying homage to the people.
And that's how I feel.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. But there is a lot of Snoop vernacular lines that Jay-Z took and turned them into songs. So, yeah, I'm with you on Snoop Dogg could definitely stand up there with Jay-Z.
Snoop got a catalog, man.
Facts.
So, yeah, if you want to make that case that Snoop is the greatest West Coast hip-hop artist of all time tonight, y'all, I can probably get down with it, okay? When we come forward, we continue the Glasses Malone interview, and I got a bunch more content. I love what's going on inside the YouTube feed and also in my DMs. Feel free to add to the discussion. 1-800-920-1580. 1-800-920-1580. Who are the greatest West Coast hip-hop artists of all time? Danny Morrison Show, KBLA Talk 1580 right now. This is your news and traffic. Check it out.
Nighttime is the right time for Danny Morrison on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Julius White. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Former President Trump says House Speaker Kevin McCarthy and House Republicans should have forced a default on the nation's debt.
Kevin worked very hard. Everybody worked very hard. There was a lot of good intention. I would have taken a different stance.
The House-passed bill still needs to pass in the Democratic-controlled Senate before heading to President Biden's desk. Meantime, North Carolina's former health secretary is set to be the new CDC director. Reports say President Biden is planning to give the position to physician Mandy Cohen. Previous leader Rochelle Walensky is stepping down June 30th. And Sean Diddy Combs is suing the co-owner of his tequila for racial discrimination. Diddy claims Diageo did not promote his De Leon brand the same way as other brands, including George Clooney's Casamigos tequila. I'm Julius White on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Second half of the year looking busier than the first? Hire with Indeed. Their powerful platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates in one place. Sponsor a job and immediately get a short list of quality candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Follow the leader. KBLA Talk 1580. Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Got your black. Follow the leader. Oh my God. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
The Los Angeles Urban League helps African American and others in underserved communities achieve true social parity, economic self-reliance, and civil rights. For over 100 years, Los Angeles Urban League has ensured our communities have access to careers with living wages, opportunities to start and grow businesses, and clear pathways to personal and professional growth. Programs like BizCamp, Construction Career Academy, Bob Business Ready, and B-Warp. The Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Program are examples of the ongoing events designed to make our centennial mission to rebuild Black Wall Street right here in LA a reality. To sign up for our newsletter or to support the Los Angeles Urban League with your time, talent, and donations, visit laul.org. That's laul.org. The Los Angeles Urban League is a proud sponsor of Urban Family Focus, Saturdays at 7 a.m. on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
As a dentist, I know what my patients are saying when they really can't speak. She says her gums have been bleeding. Is there anything you can do? Absolutely. You can try New Crest Gum Detoxify and Restore. Yup, New Crest Gum Detoxify and Restore is professionally designed to start healing gums from day one. Right. Healthy gums, healthy mouth.
Crest Gum Detoxify and Restore. Smile. Crest has you covered.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Something new is happening in California's public schools.
They're called community schools. One of the foundations of community schools is shared decision making,
where parents and families, students and educators make decisions as one.
Community schools lift the voices of folks that have traditionally been underserved.
Many of our classes are designed around our own students' cultures, their background, their personal experiences.
We bring culturally relevant curriculum to the classroom based on what their specific needs are.
Improving student achievement and innovative classes like cybersecurity and gardening.
And we assist families with their needs.
Some schools have parent education programs, cooking and nutrition classes.
Everything from medical or dental services to immigration law services.
This is a one-stop shop that serves the needs of not just the students, but their families as well.
They're California's community schools, reimagining public education. Paid for by the California Teachers Association.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the Danny Morrison Show exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
All right, let's go.
Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa. What?
Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa pop.
Shimmy, chocolate, cocoa pop.
Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa pop.
Come on.
We chocolate crossover. Yeah, we chocolate crossover.
Let's go.
See me, cocoa, might go cocoa, and I might go pop. Now it's about time that I clear this. So pardon me, miss, but I'd like for you to hear this. If you kiss me, then I'll kiss you back. You see,
Come on.
I feel real good inside, and it's just from your nearness. There's no need for you to fear this. Kiss me, I'll kiss you back.
Well, you look kinda cute to me. I think we can achieve this. Plus, you act like you need this. Kiss me and I'll kiss you back.
Say what? Come on.
You act real fly. Money D's not buying it. Quit denying it. You're better off trying it. Freak me, girl, and I'll freak you back.
Through any kind of weather, will me and you forever stay together? Well, I just don't know, but I tell you what though, if you kiss me, then I'll kiss you back.
Kiss you back.
And I guess you wanna know if I'm gonna be around. I ain't sure, but I tell you what I do know. If you kiss me, then I'll kiss you back.
Kiss you back.
Alright, let's do this. If you kiss me, then I'll kiss you back.
That's that Digital Underground. Kiss you back. God bless the dead Shock G, who we lost a few years ago. Man, we're losing too many MCs, man, before they hit the age of 60. Matter of fact, before the age of 55. That's some scary stuff, man. I don't know what's going on with that. Shock G had us fooled for a long time. We were like, is Humpty Hump and Shock G, are they the same person? Because I think they're two different people. Had us fooled for a long time. Till we finally figured it out. Let me read some comments real fast. People are coming in the YouTube feed like crazy. Stacey L. Morgan said, speaking of ignore, the birthday girl, me, is in L.A., and Danny Moe has been ignoring my messages for my mom and I to swing by to get a pic. We're on Slauson and Crenshaw playing cards, shaking my head to be right around the corner. Oh, trickle, 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 scaring your boy. Andy and I always getting chased down the street every single time we get off work, so, and Andy be leaving your boy behind, too, by the way. Terry Tari said, as MC Hammer said, Tupac can't touch this. People forgot MC Hammer joined Death Row at the tail end of his career. Mimi said, hey, girl, happy birthday. Yeah, Danny is ignoring his DMs. I just found out. Well, I won't be sending him any more Yorkie pics. Stop it. Fahima said, Tupacalypse Now was 1991. Yeah, Stacy said, you jamming, Andy. And Terry said, I'm dancing to it now and typing on my computer. Shock G is one of my favorite West Coast artists. Yeah, he was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. In that same documentary that I'm talking about, that Dear Mama documentary that's on Hulu, Shock G is on there. And he breaks down how they saw the metamorphosis of Tupac that turned into just this genius, you know? Because he came to the West Coast and he didn't know what he wanted to do with his life, and he was just always out there trying to, advocate for us in our community, in the black community. He was like an empowering cat, really intelligent, really strong, and bold as hell, by the way. And he got with Digital Underground and said, I'll do anything. They're like, anything? I'll do anything. So he was like a dancer, and he was like an assistant, and he was just like, put me wherever you want to put me, because I'm trying to just get put on. I don't care. Because he was getting ready to join the New Black Panthers and become the leader of the New Black Panthers. And he said, if my hip-hop career don't start popping in the next couple years here, I'm going to go ahead and do that full time. And then Digital Underground said, rock with us for a while. They put him on Same Song, and history was made. For real. We're listening to Glasses Malone still. Let's get back to Glasses Malone. He was on The Breakfast Club giving love to Snoop Dogg being the biggest rapper of all time. Listen.
Always been rap from the first day. From the first day, Snoop Dogg has been rap. Is nobody even been close to that type of even initial blast till Fifth. Fifth became the closest person. Snoop Dogg, not like as a kid, right? I remember watching on the news where they said he sold like 870,000 records the first week. And his record was so good, he sold 880,000 the second week.
Bananas, man.
Snoop Dogg is rap. So it's not hate. Like, I'm sincere. Like, you wanted to be on Death Row because of Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre. You wanted Dr. Dre beats, and you wanted to do a collab with Snoop Dogg.
But Pac was a superstar. Too. Pac, All Eyes on Me sold 5 million records, man.
That's Snoop Dogg's influence.
Snoop sold more than Pac, right?
You think Snoop is the reason Pac blew up?
No, Pac had already became a rap star. And he was in the movies. He was a movie star.
Correct.
Snoop Dogg was an icon from the first day.
Now, for the record, I agree with most of that. I'm going to push back a little bit on him saying All Eyes on Me was due to the Snoop Dogg effect. I don't know if I can get down with that. That being said, yeah, I mean, he knew. Let me go ahead and rock with Snoop over here on death row, and we're going to do it big out here. Because, man, ain't nothing but a gangster party. That track was everywhere, man. It was everywhere. Two of America's Most Wanted is one of the biggest West Coast hip-hop tracks of all time. That thing is crazy. And I saw an interview with Pac when he was no, who was it? I think Snoop said it, not Pac. When because you know how Snoop used to dress. You know, Snoop was kind of gangster, and Pac was like, "What are you doing? Like, what are you doing, man? We trying to get with the ladies. We trying to be sexy out here. What you trying to do? That whole gangster thing, man. We're gonna leave that behind. We're gonna be smooth. We're gonna be some pimps out here." And that's why Snoop said he started wearing his hair. Remember, he was wearing the pimpish hairstyle, you know, all slick back, and he was starting wearing the nice clothes and everything. That's the Pac effect right there. So you could say that Snoop was impacting Tupac Shakur, but I got to tell you, I think it was also happening the other way around. And they also say they had a little bit of beef before Pac passed on. A little bit of beef. And hopefully I hope Snoop has made peace with that whole thing. I've seen him in a couple of interviews where he says he still struggles a little bit with that whole thing. But hopefully he's made peace on that. Let me get a couple more comments. We'll get to the next clip here. Mimi said, please play anything JJ Fad. And look, don't sell JJ Fad short. Those are some queens that have done some amazing things for the West Coast, man. And a lot of people don't know. You guys know who produced that Supersonic track? Do you guys know? Dr. Dre produced Supersonic. Yeah. That is a Dr. Dre creation. Probably, matter of fact, they said that the sales from that Supersonic track, that's what funded Ruthless Records for a little while, right? Yeah. All right, let's go to Fahima real fast before we get up against it here. Fahima, give me your height, your color, and your hood, queen.
I'm still 5'6". I'm standing red at the moment, and I'm in Washington, D.C.
D.C., check it in, drop it, come on. Yeah. What's going on tonight, huh?
I just want to say, Tupac Shakur would have never, ever joined the new Black Panther Party. I'm not going to go into specifics, but Bobby Seale, one of the co-founders of the Black Panther Party, the Black Panther Party, is still alive, lives in California, and he will cuss you out. Not you, but cuss anyone out. The new Black Panther Party has nothing to do with the Black Panther Party. Tupac, as you know, if you saw the video, Dr. Matuku Shakur was his stepfather. Assata Shakur was his godmother, and they were real Panthers. He would have never joined the new Black Panther
So I shouldn't listen to Afeni Shakur in the documentary. I should listen to Fahima. Is that what you're telling me right now?
I didn't see the documentary.
You need to watch the documentary. I didn't know that either until I saw the documentary. So I'm just telling you that's what's in the documentary, and Moms is in there talking about the whole thing. So you gotta check with her.
Okay.
God bless the dead.
Probably will cuss you out if you say the new Black Panther Party has anything to do with the Black Panther Party. I'm not going to go into detail.
Oh, you're saying the new Black Panther Party has nothing to do with the original Black Panther Party? Oh, that's a different conversation. That may be the case. I'm saying Pac was going to take over the new Black Panther Party is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll say this. That organization that has nothing to do with the vision and the motivation and the meaning of the Black Panther Party. Because, in fact, I was in Texas when they had invited Bobby Seale. Someone made the mistake, and he cussed them out.
I love the fact that younger people are looking to the past for inspiration. They probably shouldn't choose the name New Black Panther Party because, like you said, that probably does offend a number of people. But I just love the fact that they are... It
was a continuation, but I'm going to tell you something. the late John Lewis and Angela Davis said that BLM is a continuation of what they were doing. They're a continuation of what SNCC was doing and what the Panthers were doing.
All right.
That's a legitimate continuation. The new Black Panther Party, they on some other stuff.
Well, maybe because they don't have Tupac Shakur, they lost focus. I don't know.
I ain't gonna go into details, but I just want to set the record straight.
I appreciate you for him. Give her a call of the night, by the way. Go on and give it to her. Call about the West Coast all the way from the East Coast. It's a beautiful thing. Ain't no East Coast, West Coast rivalry up in here.
Caller of the night is not necessary.
Got it. I'll talk to you later, okay, Quinn? Have a good weekend, okay?
All right.
1-800-920-1580, 1-800-920-1580. When we come forward, we go to the next clip of the night. And there is a podcast that took place recently where they were naming not just the West Coast Mount Rushmore. They were saying, who is on the Mount Rushmore of the 2010 rap artists and to present? Who would you put on that list? You will find out in a few. 1-800-920-1580. Danny Morrison Show, KBLA Talk 1580. We got a lot to talk about, y'all.
From Bakersfield to Los Angeles. From middays to nighttime. Like George and Wheezy, Danny Morrison is moving on up at KBLA Talk 1580.
The California versus Hate campaign launches at the state capitol. Maisha Cairo here with your K-Black Minute News, brought to you by CaliforniaBlackMedia.org. California versus Hate. It's a new website and telephone hotline created to address the sharp rise in hate crimes and incidents occurring in California. It's a tool state residents can use to report crimes motivated by racial, ethnic, or other identity biases. According to an address by Lauren Pryor, president of the Black Youth Leadership Project, anti-Black or African-American-based events rose from 456 in 2020 to 513 in 2021. A 12.5% increase. Reports can be made online at cavshate.org or by calling 833-8-NO-HATE. Monday through Friday with staff trained in over 200 languages.
Hey LA, keep your utility bills low this summer while making your home the cool place to be. LADWP can help you save hundreds with air conditioner and thermostat rebates, plus free energy-efficient home upgrades and simple tips to help you beat the heat and save money. Visit ladwp.com/cool-LA.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go, shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Roll Charmin Ultra Strong when you drop in the beat. It cleans with way less effort on your seat. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Charmin flows extra strong from the road. Your butt hella clean while you're sitting on the bowl. Yeah, it's all you need for that bathroom groove. Get you in and out without nothing to prove.
Charmin Ultra Strong cleans better so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Some people won't give you the real talk on drugs, but it's time we know the facts. Fentanyl is killing people. It's a powerful opioid, often made illegally and commonly mixed with illicit drugs. It can even be pressed into counterfeit pills that resemble prescription medications. Just 2 milligrams, about the size of a few grains of sand, could potentially be lethal. This isn't an ad to scare you, but it is an ad to make you think twice. Get the facts. Go to realdealonfentanyl.com. This message is brought to you by the Ad Council.
Real talk, real time, the gospel truth. You're listening to the Danny Morrison Show on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah, man. Talking some West Coast hip-hop tonight, trying to ordain who are the greatest of all time. Trying to. And I was just talking to Andy off mic here, and I was telling him while I'm typing up the show, you guys have no idea how much preparation goes into the Danny Mo Show every night, by the way. We ain't gonna get into that. At the tail end of my preparations for tonight's show, I was like, I have not mentioned Nipsey Hussle one time in this entire presentation. And that is amazing to me. The impact that Nipsey Hussle had, you would think that he would be on our lips at least every hour on this show. And this is my first time bringing it up. And I was asking Andy, if I ask the audience, and I'm going to formally do it right now. If I ask the audience, would you say that Nipsey Hussle is a top 10 West Coast artist, hip-hop artist of all time? Could you make the case? Now, I would say yes, obviously. Andy, I already know you definitely gonna make the case. But I dare anybody to give me 10 West Coast hip-hop artists and not name Nip. It's tough to do. Now, some would say he had a catalog, and I said, you ain't heard his underground stuff, his mixtapes, obviously. Been doing it for years, you know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna talk about lyricism, because Nip had bars, boy. You talk about impact, did all that. Okay? Victory Lap is one of the best West Coast hip-hop albums of the last 15 years. So, but that being said...
You're missing one thing.
Go ahead.
He also left us with a philosophy.
Taking care of your community?
No.
What?
The marathon continues.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Matter of fact, I'll play. We got a couple minutes here. Dre, Cube, Snoop, Kendrick, DJ Quick, E40, Too Short, Hammer. I'm going to put Hammer there. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 8. Can you give me 2 more West Coast hip-hop artists that you will put before Nipsey Hussle on this list? You could even make the case he belongs above a couple of the ones that I've already given you.
I'm with you.
You gonna put Exhibit above? You probably would.
I won't.
You wouldn't? You could make the case that you would.
Exhibit over Nip?
Yeah.
No. No.
Dub C?
No.
Mac 10?
No. And I rock with all them cats, by the way.
Do you?
Yeah.
I'm struggling now.
Ice-T?
Ice-T? No, you should.
For historical purposes, yes.
I'm putting him on there. You tripping. Ice-T is the godfather. We're gonna hear from him before the end of the show, by the way.
Much respect.
Yeah, you gotta have respect for Ice-T. There is no gangster rap without Ice-T. Matter of fact, you've heard Dr. Dre say himself, there is no NWA without Ice-T.
Speaking of NWA, Eazy-E.
You would put Eazy above Nip.
Me, personally? No.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to deny the impact that Eazy-E had on the game, specifically West Coast hip-hop.
That debut album of his is one of my favorite albums ever. That We Want Easy. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Love that song. Love that album. Absolutely incredible.
Danny Morrison.
Yeah.
The man on your shirt.
Oh, are we going to count him as West Coast now?
I mean, come on, man. He rode for the West Coast.
Okay, let's put, then that's 10 then, if you're telling me that.
Yeah.
Pac, Dre, Cube, Snoop, Kendrick, DJ Quick, E40, Too Short, Hammer, and Ice-T. Which of those would you pull off and put Nip on?
Hammer.
It's got to be Hammer, obviously. One of the best-selling West Coast rappers, one of the best-selling rappers of all, one of the best-selling musicians of all time. You're going to pull him off and put Nip there and leave Hammer off the list? The trendsetter? The funky headhunter?
Once again, there's a little bit of a bias there. I just feel like Nip represents my generation. Outside of just, the music, I look at just his, philanthropy. You know what I'm saying? Just building an LA up, just having love for the community.
Did I just not say about an hour ago that Hammer grabbed his entire community and took them on tour with him?
He won.
I mean, come on now. I like to think that's building your people up too. Now.
I'm with you on that.
Irresponsibly, but still do.
I can't even push back on that though, and that's why I say for me, it's there's a little bit of biasness there. I think just Nip represents the generation that I'm about. And I got to give it to Nip. I'm sorry.
So anybody 40 and under would rock with you.
I think so.
40 and I don't know how many people inside my YouTube feed are 40 and under, because I know I'm 25. Shut your mouth right now. Never gets old, but no pun intended. I don't know. If you forced me, I would pull Ice-T off of that list and put Nip there, and I wouldn't want to do that.
And I agree with you on that one too.
I don't know if I would. I'm saying if you grab me by the neck and said, Danny, you got to take somebody, I think I'd probably take Ice-T before Hammer, because I'm a Hammer fan. So I don't know. Let me read some comments there. Y'all going crazy up in there. Mimi said, great call, Fahima. Always is. Mimi said, it's been a great show, great week of shows. Yeah, thank you so much. It's we've been on fire on the Danny Mo Show, and it's primarily because of y'all rocking with your boy the way you do. She said, it's 1:48 in Florida. I'm off to sleep. Have a great weekend, everybody. Phenomenal Portia said, female Mount Rushmore, 2010 to present. Put Lotto on there. Lotto coming. She just ain't there yet. Not just yet. Lotto's coming. She said, yes, you will put Nip on the list based on the album Victory Lap alone.
100%.
One album is going to do it? Is that what we doing now? We always talk about longevity and catalog. Now you're going to change your rules for Nip because he's no longer with us. I would like to bend the rules as well, but we can't do that just because Nip's no longer with us.
I don't think Miss Portia's bending the rules. I just think that she's just saying that just off of that album alone.
It's a phenomenal album, man.
And that's why.
And let me be real. I've been listening to Nip for a little while. He's come to Bakersfield every now and again, and I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna say I've been rocking with him heavy, but I knew of him. And, you check out the mixtapes that would come out, and you hear him and say, man, that cat got flows. We used to compare him to Snoop all the time because not only does he look like Snoop, it kind of sounded like him a little bit in his career as well. Matter of fact, they asked Nip to play Snoop, I think, in the Straight Outta Compton movie, and he turned it down. So that's how much he looks like Snoop. That being said, I didn't realize how talented he was until Victory Lap. And I listened to that album, and I said, every track is fire on this album. Production, who did the production on that thing?
1,500 and nothing.
1,500, man, burn that thing up, and Nip is ripping the tracks on that album, man.
I'm going to go ahead and say this. This is me.
Yeah.
Nip over Kendrick for me.
Ooh. You throwing a bomb right there. I don't know about that one.
I'm going to tell you right now.
How you going to say that?
Ask 100 people in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I guarantee they'll agree with me. At least half of them.
But that's because Nip's no longer with us, man.
Even before.
You think even before they would say that?
Even before.
Ooh, that's tough, man.
Look at YG. I remember there was this argument about who's the better artist or whatnot. YG was a bigger artist than Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to say Nipsey over YG.
Yeah, I would say that easily. But wow. Over Kendrick?
100%.
I don't know.
It's that impact. It's that feeling. You know what? It's like perfect analogy.
Yeah.
Nipsey's Tupac.
Okay.
Because he did say, he's the Pac of the generation.
Right.
Kendrick is Biggie.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, but Kendrick's got a catalog, man. And longevity.
Nip got a catalog, too.
Okay. Wow. I love this discussion. We got so much content to get to in this last hour, but I love this discussion. 1-800-920-1580. 1-800-920-1580. When we come forward, I will bring you some more of that content. We will finally, by the end of the show, determine who is the greatest West Coast rapper of all time. And I think Andy gonna be wrong. I'm gonna be right. And we will add some. We will answer some more comments inside the YouTube feed as well, and my DMs. Danny Morrison Show, KBLA Talk 1580. Right now, news and traffic. Stay there.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Julius White. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Former President Trump says House Speaker Kevin McCarthy and House Republicans should have forced the default on the nation's debt.
Kevin worked very hard. Everybody worked very hard. I mean, there's a lot of good intention. I would have taken a different stance.
The House-passed bill still needs to pass in the Democratic-controlled Senate before heading to President Biden's desk. Meantime, North Carolina's former health secretary is set to be the new CDC director. Reports say President Biden is planning to give the position to physician Mandy Cohen. Previous leader Rochelle Walensky is stepping down June 30th.